Right now at 6, thousands of Providence Health patients left in limbo after an insurance dispute threatens critical care.
All of her appointments, schedules, medications have been stopped.
Plus, the new ambulance working to keep up with fast-growing Southwest Washington and cut down on response times.
We're only taking the highest priority calls, and that allows us from this location to reach all areas of our district.
And a new council and a new mayor get to work at City Hall. Their first plan to open up shelter space for hundreds.
That's just the tip of what we're going to provide in this next 11 months to care for every Portlander.
A very good evening. We begin tonight with thousands of patients left scrambling after Aetna and Providence Health failed to reach a contract agreement. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. As of yesterday, the majority of those patients will no longer be in network at Providence facilities. John Adams joins us live from Providence, St. Vincent. John, this has been a really scary development for some people who really need that life-saving care.
Christine and David, it definitely has. Earlier today, I spoke with a man whose daughter has been undergoing cancer treatments at Providence in Portland. Now, the family isn't sure if those treatments will be able to continue. About 9,000 Providence patients across the state of Oregon who have Aetna insurance are now having to make tough decisions. As of New Year's Day, most no longer have coverage at Providence facilities.
All of her appointments, schedules, medications have been stopped.
That includes people like Bob Dragoon's daughter. The 34-year-old mother of two is being treated for stomach cancer.
Without her care, she will suffer drastically. Her children will suffer. This is not something that can go on for very long.
The insurance provider blames Providence for the dispute, claiming the company is demanding price increases above market rate, which would force Aetna to increase its prices for coverage. In a statement, the insurance company said, "We want to reach an agreement that brings Providence back into our networks and have offered them market competitive rate increases, but we cannot agree to terms that would burden local businesses and their employees with significant cost increases." Providence provided this statement to KGW, saying in part, "Other insurers have agreed to step up and share in the increasing costs of health care, but Aetna has not been willing to do so. For now, Aetna members will be seen at out-of-network rates effective January 1st. Dragoon questions why an agreement hasn't already been reached.
What is getting in the way? Is it the profit margin? Is it the, escalating cost of care that can't be reined in some other way?
He says having this frustration on top of his daughter's cancer battle has been devastating for his family.
To have our daughter at the end of this string being manipulated and pulled in such a way that she can't get her treatments is tearing us down.
Well, neither Aetna nor Providence could give me a timeline today on if or when a deal could potentially be reached and coverage reinstated, making things even more challenging and difficult for families here in the area that are affected. Christine and David, back to you.
Got a feel for those families caught in the middle. Thank you, John. Meantime, the countdown is on as thousands of healthcare workers across Oregon are prepared to strike a week from tomorrow. The union representing Providence doctors and nurses announced a 10-day strike notice on Monday. That means they're scheduled to strike Friday, January 10th, starting at 6 a.m. This would mark the first doctor strike in Oregon history. This afternoon, Providence said it's made progress on hiring replacement nurses in preparation for the strike.
In your headlines, a second person has been arrested in connection with last month's shooting at the Clackamas Town Center, which left a teenager injured. Investigators say 20-year-old Carlos Herrera Medrano was detained New Year's Eve and is being held without bail. Eyewitnesses say they saw Herrera Medrano and 18-year-old Pedro Cornejo Morales follow a 15-year-old boy through the mall into the parking lot and then surround his car. They say Cornejo Morales then shot the teen in the hand. The 15-year-old also fired back.
In Salem, detectives want to hear from anyone who has information about a man arrested on multiple sex crimes charges. Salem police say Jeremy Brayman was posing as a minor on social media to meet teenage girls. He's facing charges that include second-degree sex abuse and third-degree rape. He was active on Snapchat and Instagram. You can see some of his handles there on your screen. Detectives say he also drives newer white sedans. Salem police want anyone who has interacted with Brayman to give investigators a call. The phone number is on our KGW website.
After months of searching, Portland police have arrested a high-profile suspected graffiti vandal. Authorities say they arrested 40-year-old James Fischel at home this morning on multiple counts of first and second-degree criminal mischief. Police have been searching for Fischel since May. You may remember in June, officers searched his home and say they seized more than $10,000 worth of spray paint. The case here is ongoing.
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Department is looking for whoever poached a wolf in eastern Oregon, and it is increasing a reward for tips leading to an arrest. In early November, a gray wolf was found dead on private land in Morrow County, about 20 miles south of Heppner. The department is offering a $10,000 reward. That is in addition to $10,000 from the Oregon Wildlife Coalition. There are also separate rewards to find whoever killed 3 gray wolves in Lake, Klamath, and Grant counties. Call Oregon State Police if you have any information.
And President Biden has issued a major disaster declaration for 5 eastern Oregon counties most affected by 2024's record wildfire season. They are Gillum, Grant, Umatilla, Wasco, and Wheeler. The declaration allows federal dollars from FEMA to be used in those counties to help communities rebuild.
Taking a step outside now, it was a cold, wet day across the region, and in the gorge tonight, a winter weather advisory in effect. Now take a look at this time lapse from the Oregon Veterans Home in the Dalles. I know, that changeover, right? It started with rain, then quickly changes to snow. That snow also, by the way, has made it to Hood River.
Happened so fast. Celine Stevens is here. Celine, we are also, unfortunately, talking about the potential for ice.
Yeah, definitely. So overnight, that snow is going to be turning to freezing rain in that region, hence that winter weather advisory. So we're going to be talking a lot about that. But for right now, we've been seeing widespread rain all day long in our area. 42 degrees outside right now. Looks like we've gotten a bit of a break from the rain, but expect it to continue overnight and into Friday as another cold front moves into our area. This bringing more moisture. By Friday, 4:30 in the morning, we're seeing that rain continue again into Friday. The good news is it goes from rain to showers, so you'll see it start to scatter out a little bit. Some cloud breaks later on to the afternoon, which is always good news. But then we get into Saturday, another system is going to push in, and that's going to lead to us to have a pretty wet weekend, first weekend of 2025. More good news, Sunday we start a little bit of a dry spell, but still we have to go through this, and additionally we have to go through that winter weather advisory for that area in the Hood River Valley. We're seeing potentially 1/10 to 3/10 of an inch of ice accumulating in that area. That's going all the way down even to the Santiam Pass area near Mount Bachelor, of course, including Mount St. Helens, seeing 1 inch to 4 inches of snow as well. And now as we get into the rest of the weekend, more snow in the Cascades. Real fast, looking for tomorrow, 42. We start off rainy, rain turning to showers by noon. We hit around 49 degrees and then finally breaking to the low 50s by around 4 p.m. But I'll have more in the full forecast a little bit later.
A little bit warmer tomorrow sounds just fine. Thanks, Celine. Now at 6, Portland's new city council, 12 members total from 4 districts, officially met today for the first time in its expanded council chambers.
Right, so the first order of business, electing a council president and vice president. The decision came after lengthy debate and numerous rounds of voting. In the end, Ilana Purtle-Guinea was selected as president and Tiffany Koyama Lane will be vice president. We spoke to several councilors on their first day.
And it is just fantastic to be able to invite Portland into this building today and show our city what the new city hall and new council chambers are.
I mean, I've got the jitters like anybody would on their first day, but I'm not necessarily anxious because I really believe in our city.
It's really important that we remember we're nonpartisan and that we should listen to the people who pay the taxes here, not the people who are paid to talk to us.
But the first day was not without its struggles. Ahead, the big disagreements over the mayor's role that had some feeling, quote, ambushed. That is on the story at 6:30. And of course, the mayor's #1 priority, addressing homelessness. And tonight we are learning the Salvation Army will operate 200 new seasonal shelter beds across the city.
Let's bring in Evan Watson in the newsroom now. Evan, how soon could these beds be ready?
David, as early as next week. These shelter beds are temporary. The plan right now is for them to be available overnight for 10 hours a night for roughly the next 3 months. The The Salvation Army is going to run shelter operations at 2 locations, one on Southwest 2nd and the other on North Williams. The sites will have basic services and supports like sleeping mats, hygiene supplies, and light food. Portland and Multnomah County leaders say the 200 new beds add to a growing list of 3,000 shelter beds across the area. The city and county are splitting the $750,000 cost equally. Mayor Keith Wilson, who has promised to end unsheltered homelessness by the end of 2025 in his first year in office, says this is just the start.
Just helping people survive the night is only that first inning. That second inning, that program that Chair Vega-Peterson, the county is building, that comprehensive system is so valuable to help that person move through the continuum. And that's what we need to supercharge, not start from scratch.
Both the city and county are using this shelter bed announcement as a sign of a better relationship moving forward. Mayor Wilson said today that he's committed to the intergovernmental agreement with the county for homelessness response, a change of course after former city council members voted to back out of that contract just a few months ago in October. David?
Interesting to see these changes happening essentially on day one. Thanks, Evan. Meanwhile, Multnomah County also has a new district attorney. Nathan Vasquez was sworn in this afternoon at the county courthouse. Vasquez then in turn swore in dozens of his deputies. Afterward, he talked to us about some of his priorities, including the drug crisis, gun violence, holding the people responsible accountable, beginning with them, compelling with them to appear in court.
I will be directing my deputies to be issuing failure to appear charges whenever practicable. And then from there, longer-term strategy and plans of working with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office to build up their deputies so that they can do the work of enforcing warrants and really making sure that we are holding people accountable.
Something he talked a lot about in his campaign. Vasquez officially takes office on Monday.